As Trump's victory lap has already included threats to political adversaries, promises to dismantle cherished democratic institutions, and the elimination of things like fluoride and the Boy Scouts, while words of courage and strength, voices of resolve and conviction, figures of influence who are willing to stand up to the upcoming onslaught of fear-based intimidation, Trump's platform of presidential policy, well, those words, that voice, that figure of influence, that is the focus of today's heartening video that seems to land at just the right time when all seems kaput. Now, I think you're going to be happy that you watched it. Hopefully you'll share it, and likewise be inspired to spit in the face of despair, just as Adam Kinsinger did at the break of dawn earlier today on CNN.
Joining us now, CNN senior political commentator and former Republican congressman for Illinois, Adam Kinsinger. Thank you so much, Adam, for coming in for us this morning. Let's just quickly talk about Susie Wiles, first woman chief of staff. What's your read? Do you think she's going to be an enabler or bring guardrails or...
Okay, well, let me just say offhand, it sounds like, the way she is and all the compliments she comes with. Obviously, she ran a strong campaign. You would think guardrails, right? And for the sake of the country, I hope so. But let's keep in mind, and enough people aren't talking about this. One of Donald Trump's chief of staff, General Kelly, came in for this exact reason, guardrails. He was exhausted by this. And ultimately, Donald Trump, who may have even said, like, look, I want guardrails around me, ultimately pushed him away because there's these people, this show that's walking by his office every day, and he always draws it in and kind of gets distracted by the shiny red ball. So for the sake of the country, yes, I hope she can come in and enact discipline, because that is really important for a president. I just know we've seen this movie before. So unless Donald Trump somehow recognized that mistake in the past, I kind of expect the same thing to happen.
I do want to ask you, look, he's got more power this time between winning the popular vote and winning the Senate and potentially the House. What is that going to mean for a second Trump term? And when you look at the numbers, it's still 50% of the country went for Harris and are concerned.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt this was a blowout from a modern kind of political, reality from what we've seen. If you go back in history and compare it to other blowouts, it was a close election, really in reality, if you look at a historical perspective. So yeah, half of the country is obviously dissatisfied, disappointed. There is an advantage, frankly, to the Republicans having won everything, which is they actually get an opportunity to show America what their agenda is. They're confident that their agenda is going to be beneficial for America. We'll see. And if it's not, America will see that. So yes, in the short term, I do think Donald Trump probably has more power than he came in with in 2016, because he had lost the popular vote in 2016. It was seen as kind of an aberration that he won. But he did, by the way, we had a majority in the House and Senate, so we still could do our things. This time, yes, he came in with a stronger mandate, but he is not up for re-election. And usually a president that is not up for re-election in many cases is a little weaker. Now, what is working in Donald Trump's favor? He has a Congress that will not oppose him. But again, it's kind of like the dog that caught the car. Okay, fine, you have a compliant House and Senate now. What is your agenda? And I've asked people, obviously there's deportations and everything else. What is a proactive, positive agenda by Trump? And I don't know what that is. I'm not sure he articulated it.
I do want to ask you, as someone who's been really outspoken against Donald Trump and the rhetoric that was used in the lead up to this against people like Liz Cheney and his former chief of staff, and you name the person who's come up against him, Nancy Pelosi and others. Are you concerned about retaliation?
Thank you for asking this question, because I have a lot of people asking it, and it's great to be able to address it. I am absolutely the opposite of concerned about retaliation. Let's be clear. My opinion hasn't changed. Donald Trump is a scared, weak person, and he won a big election. Congratulations. Again, I do hope he's successful for the sake of the country. But he himself, because I know him, he's a trembling, scared man. I am the opposite of, obviously I did nothing illegal, so you want to manufacture stuff? I'm sorry, it's still a democracy. You're not going to have that ability. Donald Trump's strength comes when he intimidates people with power he doesn't have. I know the power he doesn't have and I am not intimidated by it. So no, thank you for asking me that, because I think other people kind of in this, like, is Donald Trump going to target you? Have to understand and have to speak out and say, no, we're not intimidated by him. Honest to God, it's the least intimidating person I know. And so no, I'm not concerned whatsoever.
Adam Kinsinger, thank you so much for having this conversation with me this morning. I appreciate you.
Rock on, Adam Kinsinger. This is the prayer book. It's very sacred to me. My dad carried it with him through World War II, all throughout Germany. I'm going to keep it right here on my keyboard today and moving forward every day, in the hopes that it serves all of us as well as it did my dear old dad as we move forward collectively and head into the very treacherous trenches ahead, sadly dug by so many of our family and friends.